Now, I want to bring into the conversation an expert, Dr. Erez Garti, the immunologist at the Davidson Institute of Science Education. Dr. Garti, thank you so much for joining us. And really, as we're speaking, we're still seeing, obviously, we don't have the latest numbers today yet, as the Sabbath is still in effect here in Israel, but we're looking at around 10,000 per day for some 5 days. These are startlingly high numbers, especially after Israel has unleashed the world's first third booster shot. How does this really go to show how effective the vaccine is these days?
Well, it seems it is quite effective. I mean, you see that there are high numbers of infected people daily. I think yesterday it was around 11,000. Yet, when you look into the numbers, you see that the severely ill and the dead are mostly from the unvaccinated group. You can see that people who got their third booster less tend to become seriously ill, and less we still don't know about death because it's too early, but we see that the hospitalized people are less from the third booster groups. Now, the high numbers are partly caused also by the opening of the school system. We opened the school system this week, and almost 1 million kids were tested for COVID. So it is normal that we will have many positives, and it will bring the numbers up. Yet we see that there are less hospitalizations. So it seems that that this wave at least is starting to get under control.
Right. So these are certainly some positive elements, given what is really maybe a misleading situation, given just the amount of cases we're seeing. But as you mentioned, important to note that the school year opened as it was planned, and we're looking at many more people getting tested. But now when we take a step back, maybe zoom out and look at another country dealing with another wave of this variant, of the United States, for example. Israel, as we mentioned, the first country throughout the entire world to offer that third booster. The U.S. appeared ready to do the same starting September 20th, but now it appears some political pressure has forced the FDA to backpedal on that issue. How do we understand what's happening in the United States, and how can that maybe impact the way we're looking at how Israel has dealt with the third dose rollout?
Okay, well, first of all, the FDA is usually more conservative. It's more slow and careful, and it does not like to be pressured by politicians. We saw it last October when the former president wanted the vaccination to be authorized before the elections, and the FDA they did not agree. And it is also true now. By the way, there was also political pressure in Israel to authorize the third booster. But it is important to remember that Israel and the USA are not in the same place, because although they started vaccinating around the same time, America had some logistical difficulties in the beginning, so most of the population was vaccinated later. So there is a lag between the two countries, and you see the waning effect start later in America. By the way, there's the same story with the UK. Now, they're planning to discuss the third booster on September 17th. So by then, I assume there will be much more data, and they will probably approve the booster. And this could be very bad news for other countries, for poor countries who haven't started to massively vaccinate. And if America will start vaccinating with the third dose, it will take out of the vaccination pool many doses to the United States.
Right, and in that time, while there are many countries still scrambling to get the vaccine, the virus itself isn't slowing down at all. We understand even with new variants being discovered in South America. What do we understand regarding that new variant, we believe in Colombia, and does that impact Israel's need for another booster potentially?
Okay, so first of all, this variant, it's called Mu, and it's not that new. It was discovered a few months ago, and it doesn't seem to have overcome the Delta virus. There's like a competition between all variants, and still Delta is the most dominant in most countries. So it doesn't look like it's going to pose a few so-called threats to the Delta virus. And we know that the current vaccine is effective against all known variants, all known, at least the more dominant ones. And in November, Pfizer is supposed to finish its clinical trials for the updated vaccination. By then, everything can change. I mean, maybe a new variant will come out. Maybe the Delta will wane down. It will not disappear, of course, but currently the current vaccinations available are effective against the current viruses. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see, indeed. Dr. Elias Galdi, thank you so much for your time and your insight on the latest on COVID-19 here in Israel and around the world. Thanks so much.